Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a steering wheel in Rec Room with CV2. Keep in mind this is an invention on my invention store. It is free, so you can go ahead and download that if you want. You don't have to go through this video if you don't want to, but yeah. Alright, so first things first, let's go ahead and go into our watch, go to backpack, and hit use on our maker pen to pull out our maker pen. Now we open our palette, we go to gadgets, we go to gizmos, we get an animation gizmo, then we go to CV2 gadgets, and we need a rotator V2. And then we go to our second page, and we get 2 vector gadgets. So those white arrows right there. And these are all the gadgets that we'll be using for our steering wheel. Now on our maker pen, let's take out our configure tool, configure the chip right here. So this menu will pop up, press chip settings and detach from object. And now we scroll down and expand this, expand like all these sections here, and we can just delete all of these. We don't need to do anything with this. So after that, your rotator chip should look like this. Don't do what we did for this for our vector gadget here. We do need this is important. Now with our configure tool, we can go ahead and configure the chip again, and we will change the chip name to something like steering. Or yeah, we'll name it steering wheel. Once we have our name in here, we press submit, and there we go. Now we have our name there. So now we can configure these vector gadgets to have the name, say, steering Y, and we'll name this left and right. Now we go into our maker pen, press our rotate tool, check this, and we can rotate it so that the short side is kind of sticking out like that. So make sure it's angled. Now let me move this out of the way. So make sure it's angled like this, or else the steering wheel will go in the opposite direction. Now we go back into our maker pen, press our move tool, and take our steering Y and rotate it and place it right there. We're gonna have to slant this exactly like the steering wheel right here, or else it will not function correctly. So we place that right there. It can be just in the middle, so right there, that's good enough. Now we go back to our left and right. We take our left and right, we put this here, and then we do the same thing. So we rotate it exactly like the steering wheel. And there we go. Now we have all of our gadgets set up pretty much. So now we go into our maker pen, open palette, go to shapes, we'll get a cube here, and this cube will be what we grab to actually steer our wheel. So after you've done that, hit done editing on your maker pen, and go back to create, set your snapping to surface, and go to tubes, and I've set up my tubes to be like a square, kind of like this. I don't know, thought it was kind of cool. So we go ahead and turn on uniform shapes right there, and also turn on fixed tube width and connect nearby tubes. So now we can just make our steering wheel here. And there we go. We have our steering wheel here. It may not look like much, but that's just because we have to scale it down first. So let's scale it down to be about this size, I'd say. And take this and put it. Okay, so now that you should have your steering wheel in place, we go into our maker pen, take out our wire tool, and wire our steering wheel to our rotator right here. So now if we look inside, we should see this red wire here, meaning that it is connected. Now with our wire tool, let's go over to this cube right here and wire this to our animation gizmo. And now we take out our configure tool and configure this 0 to be a 1. And then when we take our cube here, bring it all the way over here, we could want, and it'll just come right back to the center right there. my bad. One gadget that I completely forgot about was the toggle button V2, the thing we're going to use to actually turn it on. So we take our toggle button V2. It's in the same section with our vector gadget and our rotator in CV2 gadgets. We just place that down. Let's take out our configure tool, and we can configure it so that detach from object is good, and we can take away our pressed, and bam, there we go. So I'm gonna move these out of the way real quick. So your toggle button V2 should look like this. Okay, so now we can go into our maker pen, hit open palette, go to circuits V2 in the top right, and we can search for these chips right here. So let's look up rec room object get all with tag. Let's go ahead, place this on the wall there. Maybe move it over a little bit. Let's move it over right there, so you don't have to get bothered by that. Now after that, we get a gets element, so we can put that right there. Now let's look up a get position. Put our get position right there. I actually forgot. Let's go ahead and take our configure tool out. Configure this cube right here to be 1 decorational. Make sure it's grabbable, and just put our tag to wheel. Alright, so now that that's done, let's go ahead, go back to here. Now let's get a subtract chip. Put this subtract chip right there. So let's go ahead, go over here, get our steering wheel circuit board, and bring this right under here, and then we can clone our get position and put that right next to it. I'm actually going to move these over a little bit, so it's like that. Now we search up a vector dot is what we need. So vector 3 dot, let's get 2 of these. Now we can go actually to the home page and get in a tan. I don't know how to say it, but a tan 2. I'm trying to call it that because why not? Great. Thanks, Raccoon. Very annoying bug happens. Now we can clone our subtract chip and put that right under the ATAN 2. So now we can go ahead and take our steering Y, place this above our top vector 3 dot, then we go back over here, take our left and right, put this under our bottom vector 3 dot. So now in our circuits V2 section, let's go ahead and go to our commonly used, press event receiver, get an event receiver, put that there, get an if chip, put this here. Now let's search up rotator. So we need rotator set rotation, and we place that there. And we're going to need a rotator set rotation speed, and this will be right there. So we actually have all of the chips good and ready to go. Let's take out our configure tool, configure this event receiver to be update 30 Hertz, and configure this rec room object get all with tag. Let's configure the tag to be wheel, or whatever you set the tag to on the cube right here. So we take out our wire tool, we wire our rec room object get all with tag, wire this to our get element, and then this object will get the position. Now we get our steering wheel's position, so rotator goes to get position. Once we have that, let's wire this bottom get position to our bottom value on our subtract. Now let's wire this get position right here to be our top value on our subtract chip, and then we take the difference from here, and this will be the LHS, so the top value for both of our vector 3 dots. We go over to our steering Y, this vector 3 will then be our RHS, or our bottom value, and then for the bottom one, we take our vector for the left and right, and put this to our RHS on the second one. So we take these two values, the result of these will then be our Y and X for the ATAN 2. We wire the result of this to our subtract chip, and then the difference of this subtract will then be our values for both the rotator set rotation and rotator set rotation speed. So let's go ahead, take out our move tool, let's move this toggle button V2 circuit board right there. Let's take our wire tool, take our is pressed, that will be our condition for this. We wire the execution on our event receiver update 30 Hertz to the if chip, and then if it's true, we just go ahead and rotate this, which will then go to this. Now we take the targets of our rotator set rotation and wire these to our steering wheel right there. We're going to go ahead and take out our clone tool on our maker pen. We're going to clone both of these rotator get rotations. We can actually put these down here. So these are 0. Let's wire the steering wheel to those. And let's wire our released to our rotator set rotation speed, and then this execution to our rotator set rotation. Now if you press this button, it will, you can see it, like, it'll jitter probably, and then when you release it, it'll go right back to still. The reason it's jittering so much, and that it's just simply very weird, is because of this ATAN2 chip right here. What ATAN2 does, from my knowledge, is basically get an angle, I believe, could be wrong. So let's go ahead, take out our wire tool, just tap the bottom value there. We can hover over our ATAN2 result here, so mine is 99.90577, so I'm going to put that as our bottom value for this. So it should be 0 there. So 99.90577. Enter X, throw that out. So now, if we hover over our subtract chip, the difference will be 0, and then we press our button. We can go ahead and see that our steering wheel works pretty well. That is how you make a steering wheel with CV2. I hope you learned something new, and if you struggled with something, let me know in the comments, and I'll try to help you out. See ya!